Over the weekend, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi set a 48-hour deadline for the White House and herself to come to a stimulus package agreement so that congressional staff can move ahead on drafting a final bill. Pelosi stated yesterday that while the White House has made major concessions to Democrats on the testing and tracing provisions in the final bill, there are still major disagreements that remain on aid for state and local government, liability protections for businesses, and additional aid for restaurants and small venues. However, Joe et al.'s White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows said yesterday that he hoped for a deal on a new coronavirus stimulus bill this week. Mark Meadows stated on Fox News, "I am optimistic we do share one goal, and that is hopefully to get some kind of deal in the next 48 hours. Now, when Chief of Staff Mark Meadows was asked about the current status of stimulus negotiations, he stated, "I can tell you that the negotiations have entered a new phase, which is more on the technical side of trying to get the language right if we can agree upon the numbers. We're still apart, still a number of issues to work on, but the last 24 hours have moved the ball down the field." Now, Nancy Pelosi met with Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin for 48 minutes yesterday, and she gave an interview to MSNBC afterwards in which she stated, "I think we have a prospect for an agreement. None of it is unsurmountable if you want to make a decision. And as I say, and he says to me, and I say to him, why would I even be talking to you if we didn't think that we could and need to have a decision and agreement?" All right, I know what you guys are thinking. You're probably telling yourself, we've heard this rhetoric and talk for months now. It's been an emotional roller coaster, and I agree with you, Joe et al. It's been a mess. This thing could have been sorted out months ago. But the good news is that both sides are saying that they are now closer to an agreement more than ever. Now, one of the biggest challenges will be getting Republicans in the Senate to support a potential Nancy Pelosi, Steven Mnuchin stimulus deal if it's reached. Remember, guys, Nancy Pelosi is negotiating on behalf of the Democrats in the House of Representatives, and Steven Mnuchin, who is the Treasury Secretary, is representing the White House, which is President Donald Trump. Now, in order for any bill to become law, it has to pass the House, the Senate, and then be signed by the President. With that being said, guys, the wild card remains the Senate Republicans, who have refused to consider any legislation close to the $2.2 trillion passed by the House or the $1.8 trillion offered by the White House. Mark Meadows met with Republican senators over lunch yesterday. He stated, "We don't have a Pelosi-Mnuchin deal yet. Once we get a deal, hopefully we'll be able to discuss the merits of it with our Senate colleagues." Now, Meadows said that aid to state and local governments remains the biggest stumbling block into reaching an agreement. He said the actual loss in revenues due to the pandemic was $250 billion to $275 billion, while the Democrats want about twice that amount. Now, the Bipartisan National Governors Association has also asked for $500 billion just for state government. Now, the Senate yesterday failed to pass a scaled-down $500 billion bill that provided aid to small businesses, $300 a week in extra unemployment benefits, and the ability to deduct some charitable donations while taking the standard income tax deduction. That bill would have also increased taxpayer support for religious and other private schools and protected businesses and nonprofit institutions such as colleges from lawsuits if employees or customers get ill from the virus. Their measure did not include another round of stimulus checks nor any aid for state and local governments to help them pay the salaries for police officers, firefighters, healthcare workers, teachers, and other public employees. Now, just so we're clear, guys, the reason why the Democrats in the Senate voted against this legislation is that the Democrats are looking for a comprehensive, large stimulus package. The legislation that was voted on yesterday in the Senate are standalone bills, meaning the bills are on very specific items. So the Democrats are in favor of one large comprehensive bill that addresses all of the needs and issues of the American people. So at this point, Joe et al., we need to see what happens today and tomorrow and even possibly over the weekend. It does appear that Nancy Pelosi and Steven Mnuchin will be talking again today and continuing stimulus negotiations. So let's keep faith that everyone is acting in the best interest of the American people. I really hope that they can put their egos and politics aside, and let's really hash out the differences to come up with a great stimulus plan for the American people. If you found value in this video, guys, please be sure to hit that like button and share it with others on social media. It goes a very long way in helping to support and grow the channel. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell as I'm posting valuable new information at least twice a week. Thanks again for watching, and until next time.